So, I saw the Illumination bootleg Star Wars movie, and is it good? I enjoyed myself. Don't get me wrong, I had a very good time with this. I had a lot of fun in the cinema, but it was nowhere near as good as I was hoping it could be. Starting on a positive note before getting into the nitty-gritty and everything, I think everyone can agree on this, whether you love it or despise it. This looks incredible, and probably Illumination's best looking movie ever. Illumination is always great with their simple, colourful visuals, so it's no surprise they'd excel in the space environment. And all the planets are so detailed and interesting, and I wish that we could have seen more. Which is one of the main problems with the film. I'll get into that in a minute, but what I'll say is that the action, is very similar to the first one, is great as well. If you want to know whether it is worth the watch, I'd say if you're a Mario fan, you'll definitely enjoy it. All the Easter eggs are still there, as well as more themes in the soundtrack. If you're not a Mario fan, well, if you enjoyed the first, then this is mostly the same. But if you weren't that big a fan, then, I don't know, maybe go and see the drama or something. But now that we've got that out of the way, I'm going to go into more in-depth talk. So if you don't want to hear more spoilery discussions or more in-depth plot synopsis, then skip to this timestamp here. So first off, I know this isn't really a spoiler since it was spoiled by the marketing team, but bro, you didn't have to ruin Fox McCloud being in there. I mean, imagine if you didn't know it going in, and you see him, and it's just so hype. I basically avoided all the trailers since I saw the first one released back in October, I think. But after that, I mostly tried to avoid the trailers. But, anyway, speaking of Fox McCloud, Glenn Powell does a pretty good job voicing him. And to be honest, I don't think I would have been able to guess him at first when hearing him in the movie. But I mean that as more of a compliment. As, for example, with Chris Pratt, you can obviously tell that's Chris Pratt. But Fox is severely underutilized in the film. We only meet him around halfway through as sort of Han Solo type of character who's going to take the gang where they need to go. That's kind of all he does. In the final act, I thought he was going to maybe fly down and shoot at the Koopa planet, but he kind of just sits there whilst Mario, Luigi, Yoshi and Peach do everything else. And if you're looking for development with all those characters, you're kinda out of luck. Most of the character development goes to Bowser, but it's severely underbaked. There's hints of him having a redemption, but then there's one scene where he's just, oh, I don't want Mario and Luigi to get hurt. And then Bowser Jr. just like, yeah, well, friends are pointless. And then he just kind of goes, okay, yep, I'm going to be evil again. Which is just kind of disappointing. I don't know, maybe if you wanted to, I don't know, maybe have a film in between this and the original where Bowser's a good guy and Mario and Waluigi and Wario are the bad guys. And then in the third one, it could be Galaxy, where then he has a conflict about whether he should stay with Mario and Luigi or go with his son, but who knows. And the other characters don't really get any development apart from a slight hint of Mario liking Peach, but nothing's really done with that. But the biggest crime of all is how underutilized Rosalina is. She kind of just shows up in the beginning, gets kidnapped, and just sits in a sphere for the whole time. I think the whole dilemma with Rosalina basically being off-screen for a majority of the runtime is definitely a problem which arises from having two independent princesses, where one will evidently have to be kidnapped and then chucked out of the story. Now, I'm gonna have complete transparency here. I have never played Super Mario Galaxy. I know. I do really want to, but sadly I haven't been able to. But I have heard from people who have played it that the story of Rosalina is very good. And I think if that was included in the movie, it definitely could have swayed critics another way from the way they're going as of now. Moving on to the story, going back to what I said earlier, I just wish we could have explored more in this film. I know some people are saying the film has terrible pacing issues, and whilst I wouldn't say the pacing is awful, I wouldn't say it's great either. Surprisingly, the film has a long stretch before we even get to the galaxy properly. Instead, we have a montage of Mario and Luigi looking after the kingdom, and don't get me wrong, that montage is fun, but I think the length of this movie definitely hinders the overall story. The movie is only 1 hour and 38 minutes with credits, and I think, to be honest, another 20 minutes of runtime could have definitely enhanced the film and its story, and could have enhanced the base idea for this film and make it more interesting. I mean, obviously it's Mario Galaxy, but the base idea isn't used to its full potential. don't get me wrong, the amount of place explored in this does allow for the next movie to expand on it, which I really hope it does, but I would kind of hope to see more of the galaxy in the Mario Galaxy movie, as you only really spend proper time on 4 proper planets, not including the Mushroom Kingdom, whilst we only see glimpses of some of the other planets, which look interesting, but from the planets we do get, they're not that bad. I love the design of the Spaceport Galaxy, and the whole casino as well is beautiful to look at. Honey Hive Galaxy looks bright and colourful, and the Cascade Galaxy, I think, is basically just a green park with a dinosaur, but it's still a nice looking one, and that dinosaur is so good looking, almost realistic at one point. And the Koopa planet also has a fun design, but we don't really see any other planets other than those 4. And I wish we did. I just really hope that whatever the next movie is in the Mario series, we get to explore that place in depth more. Or hey, maybe they'll just explore more of the galaxy and make the Super Mario Galaxy movie 2. Now, I know it sounds like I've just been hating on the movie, which I kind of have been, but I can't stress enough, the soundtrack, the action, they're all still great here. And I did have a really good time with it, just objectively it's not the best. So, as an objective score, I'd probably give it like a 6 out of 10. But on an enjoyment scale, I'd definitely give it like a good solid 7. So yeah, that's kind of all of that for today. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for the next upload. See you guys next time.